Too many stinking
Get out there.
variables. Cheers,
Get out there.
everybody. Welcome to your favorite late night Friday night hash cast with your 11 times filtered butane. What, you ain't got 13 times? Get on that other level. We are Variables, and you can find us every Friday night, 11 p.m. Eastern Time, streaming on all your favorite platforms, including YouTube, Twitch, and X. And, of course, after the show on Spotify and wherever you get your podcasts. Pedro, for Groli, and Superior Buds, we are your hosts. Tonight, we got a special guest, Chuck D. Snuggs, and a couple others coming. Woo! I can breathe now. How are we guys doing tonight?
Cheers, guys. Welcome back.
Just loading up the torch with some of that really clean butane.
How many times do you need to purify it for it to be purified? You know,
Well,
it's 1 time, 2 times, 7 times, 9 times.
As far as I know, 7 times is okay, but you really want that 11 to 14 times, I think, is what I heard.
That's that premium, that good. Now, what makes it purified, and how are they purifying it? Because I distill my own solvents over here. I was doing that a little bit this week, a little bit last week, probably the week before. But I don't know how they're doing it. I don't filter it. I distill it. It's got to be a different process, right?
I'm solving this, remember?
Yeah. What are they taking out?
Excuse me. We talked about this on Instagram today, Pedro. Water is a solvent.
We did not talk about it. We just messaged a little bit back and forth about it. I think you're stretching just a little bit.
It was brought up, all right?
What's going on, everybody? How the hell is everybody?
Doing well, man. I've been prepping for Hash Bash Cup. We've obviously called it the Hash Bash Cup preview or whatever. We got a couple of guys that'll be helping me out and running the booth and everything all weekend long. But next weekend is Hash Bash Cup, and it has been pretty much 6 months in the making over here. I think October is when I started taking cuts and planning the entire harvest out for about this time. As crops do take about that amount of time, or at least around here. I'm not growing these little 1 gallon or like Rockwell plants. We're growing some solid 25 or 25 plus gallon organic soil blends. So they take a little bit longer to veg up and of course fill up the flower room. But it's coming down slowly but surely and getting processed slowly but surely. Try not to do everything last minute. So I started digging in, and we've got some that, unfortunately, due to the timing, they will be very much last minute. And, I don't want to harvest things early. So we're timed okay, but some of them are going to be last minute. And that's the Cobra Milk. Fortunately, that's one of my faster flowering strains, but super frosty. It's thickening up nice and everything. It's just not really got quite that fade yet. So we'll see over the weekend how she looks and get to harvesting on her early next week.
So for the non-Michigan folks, why don't you tell them about the Hash Bash Cup? Give a little history on our favorite little event.
I'll try. Technically, I am a second-generation Hash Bash Cup attendee. Oh, not a Hash Bash Cup, I should say, the Hash Bash attendee. There's a lot of different events that go on the first weekend of every April here in Michigan, specifically Ann Arbor. Much of it is centered around the Diag, or the kind of one of these like public forum spaces on the University of Michigan's campus. And there's a lot of speakers. There's a lot of it's basically just a giant rally, and it's been going on for, correct me if I'm wrong, did we just hit 50 years a couple of years ago, right?
Yeah,
we're at like 53, 54 now or something like that. So it's been a public activist rally that's been going on for over 50 years, centered in the University of Michigan's campus, and it's about fighting for the rights of the freedom of cannabis. And like I said, my pops back in the late 70s, I think, went to it, and I didn't find that out until after I told him I went to it for the first time myself. Was fortunate enough and blessed to be able to attend that rally for many years, as I kind of got involved in the industry, and have since been fortunate enough to take my brand to the Hash Bash Cup, which is one of the other events happening that weekend. This one goes on all weekend long, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and it happens at I believe it's the Wyndham Hotel on the west side of Ann Arbor. And basically they take over that hotel and the neighboring hotel, and it's just a giant cannabis party, if you will. I don't really know how to describe it, but it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of different events going on within that event, all sorts of vendors, and just an open sesh and pool party, and I don't know, you name it, it's happening. On top of that, there's the Monroe Street Fair, which of course takes place on Monroe Street. There's a lot of there's live music, some other vendors. I know that I think a year or two ago they opened it up to the metric market, so we have some actual like dispensaries and commercial growers involved. But it's really just like it's honestly it's the biggest, and well, it's here in Michigan, it's the biggest cannabis activism event, I'll call it, even though it's an assortment of events. It's like the biggest cannabis activism event that gets held every year. And like I said, it's been going on for over 50 years. So it's kind of a big deal. If you haven't been, you definitely should go. There, portions of it are private. So like you have to get tickets to go to the Hash Bash Cup, but the Monroe Street Fair is completely public. The Hash Bash, the rally, that's completely public. And there's all sorts of stuff going on in and around the whole thing, the whole weekend. There's side parties and after sessions and private hotel dab sessions, and it's just all sorts of things going on. So it's a great time to be involved, support your favorite plant, your favorite growers and hash makers, your favorite legends and authors and activists, and
it definitely draws in some big names. It's a well-known event. It's always been big, but it's been a number of years since I've been.
Mm-hmm. I heard Tommy Chong, one of them. I don't know if it's Cheech or Chong. One of them I think is supposed to be there this year. We'll see. But hey, Professor Dab, welcome, man. How you doing?
Yo, what up?
Cheers, man.
It was late. Stoner and shit.
All good. We've all been there.
I had an edible with my dinner, and it helped me pass out unexpectedly.
It worked. It worked.
Nice little dessert.
It worked the way it was supposed to. So I woke up like in a daze, like, wait a minute, there's something I was supposed to do. I checked my phone, and it's already past 10. I'm like, fuck, I gotta get in there. So yeah, here we are.
Usually when I take an edible. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to catch him up and tell him we were talking about Hash Bash. But what you got? You taking some RSO capsules over there?
No, I was going to pinch my nipple over here. I'm dying. No, usually when I wake up after an edible, man, it's like, what the fuck? What did I take? Like, Jesus Christ. It helps me sleep like crazy. But I guess the way I medicate, it runs over into the morning. It takes quite a bit of coffee, caffeine.
I get a little bit of fog afterwards.
Is there a certain level that, you know what I mean? Like a certain number of milligrams that it takes? Like, are we just taking too much, or is it just a side effect of the medication kind of thing?
Both. There's a lot of variables in there.
I'm just a lightweight with edibles.
See what you did there.
Yeah, I mean, it is definitely a lot of variables. I would say that most likely most of us here on the panel are over medicating, quote unquote. But it's all about what you like to do. I had a buddy over the other night who took a dab with me who, he confessed to me that he's been smoking a lot more rosin. I've been gifting him rosin and flour and everything. And he's like, oh, I've been smoking rosin every day. Blah, blah, blah. So we came down and sat down here, and I gave him a dab with the blender. Just one singular hit. It was the second hit of my dab. And about 20 minutes later, I saw the look in his eye where he was just like, uh-oh. He looks at me. I'm not feeling right, dude. I'm not. I'm like, you're good. Lay back, sleep on stitch, kick your feet up. You're doing good. You're doing good. So yeah, I think we're over medicating. I also think it's just a lingering effect of the actual medicine. If any of you guys are on, anti-anxiety meds and whatnot, you've taken a Xanax at night or whatever you've taken. There's a little bit of that fog in the morning. It's just kind of the natural side effect, I think.
Well, and if you think about it, say 10 milligrams is an effective dose, generally speaking, or that's what the standard is, right? Well, maybe, there's this thing called tolerance, and you've built up a tolerance to the point where 100, 200, maybe more is an effective dose for you, right? And that effective dose means it's helping whatever symptoms you're trying to combat. And maybe those symptoms are you can't fucking sleep, right? So you gotta take an edible. And maybe once upon a time you took 10 milligrams and now you're rocking them 100 milligram fucking cookies or something like that. Well, yeah, that shit is still got to take some time to metabolize through your system and get out. So it might take that much to get the effect, but unfortunately it's still going to take a certain amount of time to get out of your system. And the more you put in, the longer it's going to take to come out,
I never really realized how big my dabs are until someone comes over and I offer them a dab that I think is small.
So true.
And then they're like, no, let's half that. And I'm like, wait, is that really even a dab? Like, what the fuck?
Or the look on their face.
Tasting it.
The look on their face when I give them a jar, I'm like, go ahead, just don't feel bad. Just go ahead.
Dig in, buddy.
But yeah, dude, when people ask about the size dab, well, there's variables there too, right? What are you dabbing out of? What do you guys all dab out of? Let's go there. What do you guys dab out of? As far as rig, email, banger, slurper, blah blah blah.
Show that Puffco, Chuck. Chuck, show us your Puffco. And I know Professor's got a whole story. There you go. Look at that thing.
Who's that topper?
McGizzle, I believe is how it's pronounced.
I gotta grab some weed.
I just came across him on Planet Caravana.
There you go.
But it's definitely a nice little quick hit. Get a nice taste.
Yep, I feel you.
I've got my Dave Man with a flat, thick bottom that holds heat really well.
Do you prefer well, I'll let everybody else go first.
I just can't clean a slurper.
Yeah.
Cleaning a slurper like turns into too much fucking work. I want to dab and be done. I'm lazy.
Well, I don't know if you heard about this new fandangled invention for lazy people that like to do dabs, but I have this thing called an e-nail. That's the thing I like to use. It likes to chaz your bangers, but it's always ready, and you know what? You just keep the dabs rolling.
And I say there's definitely a point to every one of your arguments. You know what I'm saying?
Convenience. It's fucking convenience.
Besides that, for girly, what rig are you using?
It's some fucking random ass glass rig that I got from probably online or BDTs. I am not an art collector. I've talked about this before. I do think that there's a level of artistry when it comes to glass.
I think at least four of us here are.
Probably everybody but me. I mean, if I'm honest.
Well, the others but mine are dirty. I don't want Professor Dab to be mad at me.
There we go.
Professor, show your rig too. Come on, brother. We're talking about what everybody's ripping off of. Show that fucking
little
video.
Chuck D Nugs over here. Let's go.
Check what?
Check out these nugs.
Do you guys think a bubbler is better or a recycler? Oh, he's going mobile tonight too.
Yeah, super easy this way.
I like a recycler.
Yeah.
Press the button and smoke.
Push the button and smoke. Do it again.
I think I gotta go recycler with you, man. The bubbler's more for the classic bong flower experience. I feel like.
Sure.
Recycler is definitely a dab thing to me.
I definitely love my recyclers. I kind of fell in love with Steve Size Love and Captain Chronic. As I progressed, and Steve Size Love here, I just have to go with the recyclers. But on that note as well, so there's some here that like slurpers. Well, actually, am I the on/ one here that likes a slurper / blender? I think that might be a single.
Likes or prefers?
I love them.
Yeah, I like a slurper if I don't have to fucking clean it.
Well, it's just like that fucking hit. It's just like hitting one of those fucking the Puffco or whatever the hell that other one is. There's a time and place for fucking everything. You know what I'm saying? Busting out even a rig with a flat bottom
Each
banger
one has a different feel and a pull to it. So
you're goddamn right.
It's kind of like
Absolutely.
wearing different shoes, you know.
Ooh.
Each pair of shoes you wear every day, you know, they might take a scuff, they might take a hit when you go outside and walk in them. Same as your bangers, you use them every day. They might get a
Yeah.
little, you know, they might get
What,
a little.
you're not wearing
jazzed up.
slides in the snow?
Nah.
It's like having the right tools, you know.
I did once. So I was like, fuck.
You ain't wearing
That's that
slides
hillbilly
anywhere up
coming
here
out.
right now.
Yeah.
So-
Indoors.
Why do people like I'm just going into random conversation here because I guess. Why do people like a blender / slurper over a flat bottom or vice
Well, you
versa?
tell me. You're the one that likes it. We're telling you why we don't like it, and that's because we're lazy and we don't like to clean shit. And we just want the
Dude.
convenience of a dab.
This stuff over here on the side of the table it sucks. This is the reason it's not a travel piece by any fucking means. And I think recently, by looking at some of my stories and by looking at my face right now, I'm realizing that there's levels to this shit, you know. And even if you take a couple days off, coming back to that motherfucker is essentially a surface area when you rip off of particularly this blender or every slurper really. The dab goes, or the oil goes inside the chamber, and then depending on what insert that you're using, I like a hollow quartz tube, it splashes the fucking vapor or the oil everywhere and vaporizes very quickly. So to liken it to vaping, you know, the nicotine vaping, it's like hitting one of the store-bought ones, you know, like this. And then when you start ripping a blender, it's like fucking doing the sub-ohm shit where you're blowing like roomfuls of fucking vapor. Is essentially the difference to me.
So, do you think it is do you think it's just about being a larger dab, or is it more about like the efficiency of the hit?
Both.
Okay.
Both. You definitely can take a very, very large size dab.
Because listen, we all know Pedro doesn't like to hit a dab more than twice. He thinks that's wasteful in being a crackhead.
What do you mean by hit a dab more than twice? How do you hit a dab more than twice?
Oh,
Like
you
leftover
asked
wax in
Mr.
it?
Pedro up there.
What was the question?
Like, is there like, you mean like the leftover oil in there? Or?
Yeah, usually for
More than
multiple
2
reasons.
inhales.
Yeah, usually for multiple reasons, like my asthma and just preference of taste, and those are the two primary ones for me. I guess I'll take the first rip, and if I see that there's enough left, depending on what banger I'm using, I'll take a second rip, but I won't go past that generally, unless it's super low, and I'm trying to just get like for girlies terps.
That's the thing. You just said something. It's like, you said if there's enough left, am I taking too big of a dab at too low of a temp if I'm sitting there and I can hit it 7-8 times and I still feel like it's just as good as the first one?
I feel like it's a preference thing. You know, you probably don't have asthma if you're doing that.
For sure.
The terpenes, man, I told you before that you have two.
Does that mean you're retorching it up, or you're just letting it
No, I'm in an e-nail. I'm in an e-nail, so that's the difference too. I was just gonna say, like, if he wants to do 8 or 9, he's probably got to go in really hot, or he's got to retorch it. Neither of those things are ideal, right? So maybe it's just there's not really an opportunity to do it with the torch in an ideal method. So you got to get it on those first two, which makes me feel like you got to go in a little bit hotter than you would an e-nail.
The e-nail, the way that e-nail works, because I've used it many times, though, it forces you to take more dabs, like more breaths than you normally would, because it's not as like the heat isn't as hot as you're trying to really make it, if that makes sense.
Is it not as hot, or is it not as uniform? Because
it's not as hot all around. Like the whole banger isn't like as hot as it should be, right? It's really only hot where that coil.
You can torch a whole banger. This thing is only, look at that.
It's only hot at the bottom.
That's a fucking half inch or whatever, like.
And and like he's talking usually with the proper banger, I really like a fucking round bottom, but quality is a big thing getting quartz. So we can go into that if you want to later, but I like to splash the oil up onto the sides and use my carb cap to actually splash the oil to where the heat is, and that's why I prefer a round bottom, and that's the same reason I go ahead.
To use a pill or like the
Vortex.
It's not
That's why I
an-
like the tour bullions with the holes in them.
Yep.
Use
So
a
if
marble and get that.
if you're using a flat bottom, I'd probably recommend, like he's saying, use a couple at least small little marbles in it with a circular motion. But I like the
So you
round
go carb
bottoms. Yeah. You got to get a quality carb cap. I like the round bottoms so that you can splash the oil up onto the sides. And even at his travel
Is that
piece,
an OG quartz?
yeah, that's a LA High Life.
Okay.
All these pieces I've been holding up, like this big dog is all OG quartz or LA quartz, LA High Life, excuse me.
Real quick, speaking of carb caps, chuck these nugs. You'll be happy to hear that I did find my carb cap from my Puffco. I lost it like 2 weeks ago. I brought it to the fucking event. We just did. You try dabbing out of a Puffco with like a fucking lotion jar or something on top of there because it's awful experience. It's just
Never liked them. They don't hold enough oil for me. It's not a.
Did you try the 3D XL?
No, I have not. I stopped long ago. Actually, I sold my big fucking my big Puffco
Games have
piece.
changed. You know what I'm saying? Games have
Right.
changed. But I'm sorry to interrupt. I just I found my carb cap. I'm super stoked. It was in the no, I'm not going to share that public.
Oh man, that just got dirty. I felt that.
After the
Found it in a bad spot.
So no, the I guess the culmination of the conversation is having thick quartz. If you're if you're going to go with the butane, go having thick quartz. Knowing how you want to dab, like how hot, how big of a hit you want, how many hits you want.
But really, because the banger you use, when you just told me that, I've used those bangers before. That's a specific type of banger that most people don't have. So
which one, the round or the flat?
Just that those LA Hell Life, those because they're how big they are.
Mm-hmm.
So
these are ridiculous size.
Yeah, those are not averagely sized bangers for most people out there. If you don't really know that, these bangers are actually massive.
Yeah,
so
like
showing your banger is going to hold so much more heat longer than any other banger will, which means that the wax is going to vaporize that much quicker once you put it in there. So if you were to use something that is cheaper or a little bit more poor quality, or just smaller in general, really, it could just be a smaller banger, then the way you dab will change quickly.
For sure.
100%.
Because you have to play with your temperatures and then how much you put in that banger matters.
Does it take longer to heat up, I assume, because it's thicker glass?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
but it's just going to hold it that much longer too.
One of my favorites was the Bear Quartz. Had the round bottom, but it was flat on the outside but round on the inside, so it had the really thick bottom and held heat really well and distributed up the sides really well.
Yeah.
That's the other thing is you don't want your bottom 50 degrees hotter than your
That's
side.
where it's cooling, yeah.
And shout out to the Hot Dabs podcast. Actually, they've got they call it their D2T, their dab to temperature, introducing variables into everything. So, obviously if you want to go in on a bigger dab, you're going to have a little bit more heat. And that's a funny podcast if you haven't seen it, Hot Dabs.
Yeah.
Yeah, more heat or more surface area, right?
Variables, bro. Absolutely. See, if you put the minute you talked about size, I thought about putting a small.
Listen, you were talking about size. I didn't bring it up. You talked about size. I rock the thin, small, little guys over here. You're over here with these freaking,
Those smaller ones aren't good though because you don't get the right airflow that you're looking for, and your wax could sometimes go down the neck of the bangers.
Yeah, I fucking hate that.
If the banger is too small, so you do have to be careful how small the banger is because that'll change.
That's my problem with the e-nail. If I'm honest with you, Professor, that's the biggest thing I have going on over here is I've got enough reclaim.
I need to upgrade you, dog.
Dab out an army. You know what I'm saying?
I got an extra e-nail with maybe I can find an extra banger that's a little bigger, like the ones that I used to use for my dab bar. And
so I've got this one I actually have that I keep showing every time I bring up this new fandangled device called an e-nail. This is actually the slurper version, so it is thicker. Like the width of that is pretty fucking wide. This is made for a slurper. that's probably why it's a little bit thinner here too, because the dish on a, it's not coming up as high. Whereas like your kind of flat bottom standard round banger without a dish or anything, it's like you can put a little higher on that. It's just going to be a thinner width than this one. It's just, it feels like all about how you want to design it, right? I mean, you could just wrap this coil around your favorite banger, you know what I mean? And like, maybe you'll get the
there's
best
a
of
lot of
both
them
worlds.
like that.
For that to work though on a slurper, it would have to be on that shaft part of the slurper though. Because
no. So
if it's only at the bottom of the dish, when that oil goes up that slat, it's gonna cool off super fast.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Again, it's not going to be as effective as a torch, because a torch you can heat that whole thing. Where any email you get is only going to heat up really effectively where that coil is at. So that's it's like, yeah, how do you do that on a slurper when it's got the dish and then it's got that whole centerpiece? It's almost like you have to have a coil going up the center with the glass around it, so it's heating up the center too. I mean, you could easily design that.
They make them just tall and almost like the D-nail tool. It creates more of a heat chamber than it does direct contact with heating it. So you're getting some ambient heat, but not as much.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, why haven't we designed an e-nail to be inside of the glass and the glass just wraps around
Didn't
it?
they do that with the induction? Weren't those the induction?
Because the
bangers?
oil would touch the.
No, not if the glass is wrapped around it, dude. That's what I'm saying.
The induction coil was inside the banger. Remember those, Pedro?
Oh, but it was at the bottom of it, wasn't it?
No, sorry, I was chatting.
I think it was in the bottom only. The induction bangers that they had a while back.
Pull them up, and I'm just going to explain what I'm talking about real quick here. So see that where that tail is on the end of this right here? What if instead of it just keep wrapping in the center, it actually came up the center and went like that, right? So through the center, but it came up like this. And that way you could have the glass built around it, around the center, and then also come up like your dish. And that way you're heating not only the dish up, but the entire vertical shaft as well.
Yep.
And it's all protected with glass quartz.
So this gets the bottom as well as up the sides.
You have to replace it after.
That's how my
bangers are super replaceable. So you don't want to have something be too complex for something that you're just.
It's got to be able to slide on top, and it should be able to do that though. It should be able to just slide right on top. Just wrapping that new banger over your, you know.
You mean design like the inside of the banger to kind of have like a.
You're gonna make me pull up freaking paint, aren't you, dude?
So, excuse me. The difference with an e-nail in this, it's effectively heating it the same way, but there's no wire. So you set it over the inductor. It heats the whole induction coil. The whole banger warms up to the right temperature, and then you dab it with no cords. That was the whole sell on these. They just didn't take off.
I've got the big D-nail one back here, and it just takes so fucking long. You know, it's just it kind of does, except it's the adjustable one back here.
Well,
we trade-off of convenience versus.
Well, it's.
I mean, I don't know what you want to call it.
It's not in contact, so you're heating the air, which is then heating your banger. Versus an e-nail, it's versus your e-nail where you're directly heating because you're in contact. You're transferring that heat direct. That idea it's a neat, novel idea, but
it's
just put
cool,
a kiln on your fucking desk.
Can we talk about how all
so much fucking electricity just to have it sit there and fucking
I'm glad you brought up energy, Pedro. Can we talk about how all these rosin heads are using hydrocarbons to heat up their rigs to then smoke their solventless dabs? Can't get away from the hydrocarbons.
I use butane torches all the time.
Yeah. So, okay, I'm going to do this, and bear with me.
I think torching in the quartz is the best method there is for dabbing. It's most effective.
So this is our super high-tech artistry software that Variables has invested in, and I don't know how to describe it other than it's super high def, and it will really show what I'm trying to portray here. So we have our, bear with me.
What the? Oh my god!
What are you drawing, bro?
You're gonna get us banned. What the fuck?
No,
Aw, man.
Spare with me.
What if there's kids watching?
Oh, there's not. There better not be.
We
That
almost
didn't make
got
it
a
any better.
we almost got a fish hook. We got a fucking.
All right, so that's the banger from the side profile. It's what do they call that? The where they split it, they cut it in half like an animal at a museum.
Bisection.
A bisection. This is bisectional of a banger, okay? And we're going to bisectional our e-nail coil, which normally would be wrapped around like this, right? We're going to undo that. So
where does the oil go?
On the little swoops.
Now I got to get the other color. So this is our oil, and we know it's delicious gold, and it's fantastic.
And it's going into the rig. How?
Inside of it.
It's This is a bisexual.
Wait.
All right. Bear with me. Stop asking questions and let me art.
Bisexual
so normally,
or
Evan understands. I'm like, how does it? Where's the intake?
I'm muting everyone.
Where's the intake into the rig?
So,
are you designing this? Or are you saying that you saw this?
I'm designing it live.
Oh, that makes more sense.
Okay, there you go. So pretend that's your normal e-nail coil, right? It normally wraps around the banger with that delicious oil in there. But instead of just wrapping around it, we're also going to have a portion that comes up, right? So I'm going to fill this in so you can see it, because that glass there is protecting it. And that would be this last final portion. We're going to end this share screen here.
I do understand where you're going with this. It's basically
thank
a banger.
you, engineering mind. Please explain it.
Where
There's a banger. Wait, there's a banger with a quartz pillar in the middle that is hollow that has an e-nail shoved up its butt.
Basically.
Sure. Okay. So the walls on his
that way the whole thing is heating.
The walls on his banger should have been much higher.
Yeah, it was a very shallow banger.
Okay, so that would have been. So there's. I like to see. You understand me. Shove it up the butt and fucking have a high heated pillar in there.
I know how to bridge engineering and.
And so then it would have a. It would. I mean, it would essentially be
right brain, left brain, right brain.
It would essentially be just this with a heated pillar up in there.
Yep.
Yeah, is that so hard? Okay, can we design
what it apparently is?
You just gotta wrap the coil like that. And just
basically what he's doing is this is your coil, this is your glass. Okay, you pitch it in just like this, and then you throw the oil all
there.
We
go.
Okay,
oh my god,
that goes on the inside, guys.
I will say you stick with processing.
There's a reason
I'm just trying to give you all the best experience.
No, the engineering was great. The artwork was stick with processing.
Hey, listen, I didn't. We
on that note,
no.
He's a grower first.
Pedro invested in that high tech software for variables, so I hope that you guys get a chance to use it too.
The idea, if you had heat on the outside as well, but why are you inserting that? What is your
because with a torch you can torch that tall shaft portion, right? With the e-nails, as I've showed you, they just come up this little half-inch amount. It's only covering the sides of the dishes or the sides of the banger, and it's not even going all the way up the banger.
Agreed.
So if we can get more heat in there at a lower temperature, we're having more surface area to take those bigger hits like we're talking about.
Could probably get a round bottom to go in one of those fucking things too, and just do it right.
Carb cap.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk carb caps. What's the best style carb cap? Because, like I said, I've used a lot of things in the last 2 weeks on my carb capless Puffco, and I've tried quite a few different things. And I'll tell you what: things that are flat, they suck. Things with holes in them, they work great. Things that make things spin and shake and splash, like let's do it.
Too big a hole versus the size of your neck on your banger. There's
Really?
lots of variables. Got to have the proper airflow.
Yeah, there's definitely some variables.
These are my favorite too.
Go ahead, Professor.
Why?
I'll show
Why are
off
those your
Yep,
favorites?
why?
One
Well,
first.
Yep.
All right.
Why? And
So
in what?
This is my G2 fucking Gordo Tech. I've had it for years. It's got like on the inside, it's hard to see because it's dirty right now, but on the inside, it's got like super spinner action. And, like the airflow, the way that they've designed it is like very vortexy. It creates like a tornado inside of your banger. And there's 2 holes. There's one on the side here, and then there's one up top. I'm trying to see it.
I was wondering what that pillar was going down through there for.
So there's a top hole and a side hole. So you can close off the side hole if you want, or the top hole, and like it'll force like
Yeah,
the
so
heat
you don't
to
even have to
stay
pull it
in
off
the
and
banger.
shotgun it.
And then you
Variables.
just spin it around, right? You'll just spin it around and it gets all the fucking angles in there. It gets crazy. Then you got this one here, which is a lot of people know this guy, but I'm trying to remember the name.
Oh, I can't remember it. I need to see it and I know it. I can't fucking remember it either.
Fucking God, I post this shit all the time too, and I'm fucking drawing a
Go
blank.
back and check out his page, Professor Dabs on fucking Instagram. You'll find it.
Side effect of the medication.
Yeah, right. I'll remember in a minute. But this one works really good too. It's just angled really well. It gets down into the banger. It also has a side hole here. So when you're pulling, it just pulls the air through that hole, and then it pretty much works on like a lot of the like he says, like the flat bottom bangers. A couple other ones too, but those 2 just work the best because they're literally forcing directional air inside of the banger, and it makes it easier. It's more efficient. If you have a really shitty banger, or if you have a really shitty carb cap, I don't have one here that's like really shitty, but if you got a really bad one, it doesn't help the whole situation. It makes things like there's no air getting to the bottom, to the sides of the banger. So that makes a big difference.
Yeah, so you just introduced a bunch more variables too. Shitty carb cap is one that doesn't seal properly and doesn't direct airflow and isn't made for what you're using. And a shitty banger or blender won't allow a good cap to seal because it's not completely circular or spherical. So I've got for my round bottoms generally.
Zach Brown.
Yeah,
Zach Brown carb cap. That's what it was.
I think he's now. Oh yeah, I think this is now glass draws. But it's just the biggest reason I love that is his art on that, number one, and the spherical. I just made up a word, bro. The spherical. Yeah, whatever that fucking word is. That's gonna be clipped by a lot of people. So I like that, but on these big, deeper ones that we were looking at, you have to have one that will go down below the neck. Otherwise, the air is just going to go straight through. So you have to have one that goes down in deeper to move the oil. And that's I think that's pretty much what we're talking about, is moving the oil. And then on these blenders and slurpers, all they need is really either a marble. You just got to be careful of it falling off of the top, or they have styles like this that you can just for a little more security. But it gets deep when you start talking about and then once you find what you really like, it does take some trial and error, but once you find what you really like, it's a sweet spot.
And some of these are hand blown. So like this Gordo, this is my second one, actually my third one, right? I had one, I broke it and it matched another rig, but it didn't work as well as this one did. Bought another one. It was a plain one, just a clear one, and it didn't work as well as this one did. So like a puppy guard this one now, because if this one breaks, I'll be devastated because I've had it for years and it's by far made the best. And I think just sometimes production or whatever it is, just as certain things can be off. So again, once you find one that you really love, it's like, you better not let it go.
What about you, Chuck? Do you dab anything other than the Puffco over there?
I just got the good old normal banger. I don't get too crazy with
You don't
it.
get too crazy about it.
Bust out, yeah.
Are you a big dab or small dab as far as size?
I'm a big dabber. I got the 3D XL on my Puffco. That's
All right. Sounds like I got to check that fucker out, I guess. Damn it.
Yeah, I mean it does some wonders for sure. It's my daily driver, but I work 12 hours a day, so I keep it with me. And
I feel you. I feel you.
That's it.
There's a lot of times when a Puffco would be very, very efficient for mobile use. I guess we'll keep it clean.
Yeah.
Yeah, just as a different brand out there, though, we'll go ahead and shout out to Bomb Devices. We'll put them on for the night. This is similar to what a Puffco does. Rips pretty big clouds, I'd say, and it's half the cost.
Oh no shit, cool. Does it have that one looks like it's got a thing shoved up its thingy too. Does it have the same banger size as a 3D XL, whatever the fuck Chuck's using over there?
They do have a bigger banger or a bigger atomizer, I would say.
Yeah,
so they do have two different size atomizers. The one I got on this one right now is a smaller one, just because the carb cap is different, and I actually like the carb cap better on this one than I do on the other one. But
well, see, and a lot of us talk, and I try to step back for a second. We've been in this for a long time, so us to have art pieces and be able to spend or want to spend the money on a Puffco or want to spend the money on the card or sometimes it's like, damn, that's fucking expensive, bro. I can go down to the fucking smoke shop down here and get a Chinese rig for $29.99 and get a banger for $8.99. You know what I'm saying? And so going with a piece like Professor there just showed, it starts to be much more obtainable if you want to take a little bit of a leap. And I'm always one that says buy once, cry once. Don't buy shit, get pissed off at it, and then end up spending the extra money for something good. Spend the money for something good first.
It's always quality over everything else. But you got to find something that's like good quality with good pricing too. Like Puffco works, it's good. I used to fuck with them, but when you talk about every day and then customer service, things like that, this device is it's where it needs to be, specifically what the economy needs right now. Just most people are on a budget these days, so
yeah, I would definitely agree with that. Customer service, I consider that a lot in the commercial industry, and it's very valuable.
You guys want to see my $5 carb caps?
Yeah, baby, show it to me.
Let's see.
I'll show you the current one and my favorite style, although this actual one is not my favorite. So this, you're just your basic hole through the center, right? But like spinner, it's got like
I was going to ask about the spinner. Yep.
The problem with this specific one is, for whatever reason, I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it, but there's only holes. Well, no. For the there you go. There's only holes, like bigger holes, on like one side of it, so it doesn't actually fully rotate it.
That's quality.
It shoots it.
Yeah, that's quality.
It shoots it down like a third of it. You know what I mean? And it just splashes it one direction. So this is the style that will shoot it down.
Check out what I just found, Professor.
If you don't have it directed a certain way.
Yeah, Zach Brown.
I just found it sitting over here.
Zach
now
Brown.
Here's my $5 Zach Brown.
That's a $5 Zach Brown.
Yeah, right.
This is the $5 version. Look at how short that sucker is. So it ain't really getting down deep like that one is over there. It's real tall up top. I don't know why we put so much up top for my giant, fingers.
We got to throw that out. I'm gonna have to donate you something.
Yeah, right. We have to get
these are not acceptable carb caps.
Last but not least, on the $5 carb cap is actually kind of the
look at the airflow. What are you doing?
But yeah, massive airflow.
Yeah, like you got to cover that raw. Yeah,
it's
too much.
Huge. Good
too much
like
flow.
Style with the the spinning or whatever. And then last but not least, you got the one that I lost that I finally found for the Puffco. And this one is, it's when it gets sticky, it's awful, but when it's fresh and clean, it's great. and it's a spinner, but it doesn't spin right now because it's sticky and awful because I lost it and it's been sitting somewhere for a while.
It's not joysticking like this, is
exactly. And that's if you look at Chuck,
it's just sticking
on his.
That's because it's a Puffco. See how the Puffco treats you?
Oh, no. I need some more wine.
that is $5 carb caps with Fragoli.
Why don't you
have to bring you something?
I was just gonna say we need to get Fragoli. This is like Evan said, it's
you're gonna throw all those away, and I'm gonna give
like Evan said from a processor. Bruh.
I'm giving you all my backups.
I know we're gonna have to fucking get him hooked up. This is bad.
The ones I don't use that I should be using, I'm bringing for you.
Yeah, I probably got one or two.
Listen, that email will be set up all weekend long, just like it was last year. So let's try out the carb caps.
We got to invest in a good.
You know what? I might even have
and a better email
time to make a very quick trip out to Colorado to pick up some Pedro terps to share too. So we'll see.
We've got to get you from the 1999
long drive
to the 2025.
I drive fast. Wait for what?
I said we got to take your 1999 email to the 2025.
I don't even know if they had them back then.
It just needs. I know I'm just bullshitting. It just needs a little updating. And
no, trust me, I know.
I've got an extra one I'm gonna just bring for you because I always see your email and I'm like, damn, he still got this one.
Still rocking it, man. 100,000 dabs later.
I was gonna say I hit that thing
exactly accurate on the temperature anymore. It might be about 40 degrees less than it says it is, but hey, it's you just get out the fucking guns and test it out, calibrate it, and you're good to go.
We hit that thing like 8 years ago, man. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's the first one I ever bought. It's still the one right there running.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. So they've really updated them since then. They're just so much better now. The coils are a little bigger. They wrap a little slightly.
No, I will say I've gotten plenty of new coils. Like every coil I've shown you, the one I keep pulling up, like they didn't have slurper coils 8 years ago. You know what I mean? When I bought this thing, and I've actually had to rewire the coils because they don't even use the same like connection method. It's all the same wiring, but for whatever reason, they decided to put things different.
You got there, Chucky.
That is some yikes that I just got back from Rolly.
Peach yikes?
No, I got the peachy all by itself this time.
God, pull it up.
I'm
on
good.
The button. There you go.
Got some peach in there.
Nice.
Kind of crumbled up a little bit this time.
His peach pudding, guys, is we took a dab of it today, and it just makes you. Oops.
Makes my nose.
We're back.
Makes my nose hair stand up.
I don't know what I just clicked, but it's very pungent. Like when you open that jar, it's like, okay, this is something new, but he kind of snuck a dab in on me, and all of a sudden I was doing this dab of this flavor that was just so heavy up in the nose, man. And I'm like, what was that? And I should have known because he just kind of looked at me.
Did you ninja dab him?
Kind of a little bit.
He ninja king sized me today with a freaking giant doobie that took so long as well. I was not prepared for that.
Had a decent, nice little sesh today.
On the note of going to shows like the Hash Bash we're talking about earlier, and my last chat,
you coming,
Pedro? No, dude, there's no way. Absolutely zero way I could make it, man. I would love to, and I'm extremely jealous. Okay, there's 2% chance I could make it, but
how can we make that like 50%?
We could chat. We could chat. Don't get me off track here. Reminded me. Put a pin in that.
Show up.
When you, Jesus Christ, sidetracking me. When you talk about other people trying your terps, whether it's trying your flour, yeah, fuckers, or trying your concentrates, there's that sense of, do you guys get it too, that you hope that everyone else enjoys what you hoped they would enjoy?
Like the specific things, or just the overall fact that it's better?
The overall fact that they're going to get Fragoli terps.
I mean, if they're specifically coming for girly terps, I'm definitely, that makes me happy. Yeah.
When I try your terps, when you try my terps, when Bud tries my terps, I get that sense of, boy, I hope it's good enough. You know, do y'all still get that?
Yeah, for sure,
dude. If I'm honest with you, I don't think I've had that in a long time, because I've been growing the same fucking shit for a long time, and I've perfected it. Not perfected it, because I don't hit the nail on the head every time.
That's right. You tell them.
I've grown it. I've grown it to the best of my capabilities, and there's probably people out there that could grow it better than me and process it better than me, and fucking whatever, breed something, you know, of better flavor than what I got. But like, I know what I want, and I know what I like, and that's the reason from the get that I've been doing this. And so guess what? If you don't like the same flavor as me, that's okay. Go to Chuck, go to Pedro, go to Superior, go to Professor. They all got different flavors too. I'm totally okay with that, because everyone, like, this medicine is going to treat everyone differently, and everyone's going to treat this medicine differently. So you don't have to like lime skunk just because a bunch of other people do. I've got someone that told me they literally could not finish Cobra Milk. And they were in the chat like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago.
It was hard.
That was the one jar they could not finish. It's like, I get it, because there's something in there, and I don't even want to speak it to, to the airwaves.
To
but
me,
there's a flavor in there that if you associate it with it, you're all of a sudden not going to like it. And it hit me one day after I drank a root beer, and I'm like, oh, what was that?
That's funny.
But
no,
I want you to enjoy it. Don't get me wrong, Pedro. Like, when I'm when the terps get in your hands, like, I'm disappointed when like the clementine doesn't hit you the same way it hits someone else, but listen, I'm not going to be upset because it's not your thing. You know what I mean? Like,
no, there's no, yeah, there's a little inside, for me at least,
Yeah, you always want everyone to enjoy it. It's a lot of hard work and love you put into every step,
Yeah,
I think what Jason's trying to say is, when your shit's so damn good for so long, you don't give a fuck what anybody thinks, because you know how good it is.
You just get enough. You just been doing it so long for like, with the same fucking phenotype, with the same fucking strain, the same way you're growing it, producing the same fucking thing, that you get a lot of a lot of people like it, but guess what? There's a lot of people that don't like it too. You know what I mean?
It's just my own insecurities.
He's award winning, man. I mean, once you got the awards, bro, it's like, I know how good my shit is.
Pedro's just as good. He has no reason to be insecure about it. He just probably, maybe he hasn't had
a peer review,
tens of thousands of peer reviews. You know what I mean?
Do you need more reviews? Here, send me a little bit.
I haven't.
Hash Bash Cup is for.
We haven't met at the border yet.
We're gonna fucking film it,
Professor. We haven't met at the border yet.
Nah, man.
Oh, dude, let's fucking.
Dude, how good is? Can you throw?
Let me get your number, Ron. Let me get your number.
Got you. Not over the internet. Not over the internet.
we did the border thing. There's airspace. There's
just drop it in my lap. Look, Chuck and Fregroli dropped theirs over here.
Yeah, Chucky, we got to talk too, bro.
I took a run. I'm sorry. I should have grabbed some for you.
How did they get here?
Hey, listen, I'm gonna see all these guys in less than a week's time, so they'll be.
Well, we'll also, speaking of events, we've also got the end of April event coming up, which is the launch of Pele's rosin in Michigan on shelves.
Oh,
so he's actually in Michigan right now.
I not know about that.
Yeah, he's in Michigan right now washing hash.
Fuck, am I not paying attention?
Pele, the soccer player?
Pele. Brian from Pele.
Polare. I can't say.
Yeah, I don't remember how he was. Yeah, we had that discussion on the show too. Go back and check out the fucking episode.
Like Pele cases?
Yeah, that's Pele. He did the wraps on the washers for the longest time, and then turned into a big dude in the community doing his Terp Wars, which I've been a
Hey.
judge in, and then starting to do classes of solventless processing and taking them to every state around. I mean, doing a real good job. Like, motherfuckers got, I thought I had energy, but Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
What were you
he's
gonna
a go guy.
Mhm.
It's going to be hosted by Green Hippo Provisioning. It's in Lawton, Michigan, and that is the southwest-ish corner of the state. Professor, you should show up. I'd love to have you. I'm going to be filming the event, and I would love to have you there to, make it happen.
Southwest?
Why don't you fucking host it, and I'll be the cameraman.
We're gonna do some variables giveaways.
Man, I mean, it makes me think, like, when I go to places, and I never think about it, I always see the who is it? Terposaurus Rex. He always doing when he's going around Colorado Springs for the most part. He'll do his little stash and dashes that the people haven't done for a long time, and I forget to do that stuff. You know, I'm headed back to Wisconsin in mid-May, and I just think it would be more appreciated than I know it would be. You know.
Oh yeah, I bet you it would be a lot of fun.
I bet my house is like halfway between where you're gonna be and where Fergoli lives. You know, just saying.
Yeah, how far are you guys from the good old Beloit?
Unfortunately, I don't think the ferry's operating right now. Are they bringing that back this year?
Ooh,
The one that goes between, across.
Yeah, what was that ferry? I remember that. I think
I'm trying to think of the name.
Yeah, damn it. Damn it. Barely took my tongue, just like that ground.
But you're talking about stash and dashes, and I want to talk about that too, because a good friend of mine came up with a couple prototypes for me. He's got a 3D printer, and we've been working on some
fuck yeah,
kind of collector's items, if you will. So this will only be available at the Hash Bash Cup, but we're gonna have one of each flavor in there, and
oh yeah,
we're only gonna have a handful of them, and there's not gonna be any like additional fees or anything. This is just gonna come with it if you want to get one. So kind of be first in line for that. But he's also capable. He also came up with this concept, which I love because it's perfect for timing here with the Stash and Dash and Easter being on 420. He created these eggs that, and here. So here's a couple other things he made for us. This is
get out your art, get out your drawing board.
I don't need to, it's already printed. So this is a king size pre-roll packer.
Oh, cool.
So king size cone just goes right in there, fits perfectly. It's all
I could use that, dude. I cannot.
Right?
I can't roll. I just can't.
Same.
I mean, I'll get it done, but y'all won't be happy.
Yeah, right. It'll be a mess. It'll be one of those witch fingers.
A little lumpy.
Yeah, lumpy and bent. And just like, anyways. So then this thing he printed, which is pretty damn cool too. It's, I mean, I don't know what you would call this or what this looks like to anybody. It's just fancy, and quite frankly, it matches the.
What the fuck is it? A grinder?
Matches the Puffco Peak, which is pretty cool too. But holds 3 king size cones and a Bic lighter.
Oh fuck! That's
so you're
kind of
just
cool.
set for the day. You know, he looks like he opened it, showed it to me. I'm like, that's a fucking
dugout.
dog paw print. You know, like,
right?
Yeah, it is kind of like a dugout. You're right.
That's a hiker. That's a put in your backpack, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that kayak. I think it's waterproof too.
Dude, there's something different about smoking flower, though. When talking about that, you know, besides going from concentrates back and forth, there's just something that hits different with the two of them. Which reminds me, I need to take another dab. Shut the fuck up over here.
Yeah, so 3D printing is pretty cool. I think the egg style Stash and Dash for Easter would be pretty sweet. But Pedro, I know you're trying to back out on me with this. Maybe I'll ask Professor.
I'm here, bro. I got you.
We'll find all of them.
What goes in a Stash and Dash bag? You know, what's like? Is there like, you know, are you just dropping like a jar in there? Are you dropping like one of everything? Are you dropping like maybe like a joint, a fucking sticker, and a fucking, you know?
I don't even honestly know that the sticker and everything is. I think
So this is marketing. So you have
Yeah,
to know
agreed,
how much
agreed.
you want to spend on marketing.
Agreed 100%. Me being the old school fucking what do they call it? Not the gray market, but you know what I'm saying, the legendary market, whatever,
Traditional.
fucking traditional, whatever.
Legacy.
I would just drop a jar with the fucking piece of painter's tape on top. 7-gram jar, 3.5 gram, 7-gram jar, drop it, take a picture, an obvious picture, you know, semi-obvious, you know what I'm saying? And just drop it. That's it. There it is.
Where? I mean, like where?
Dude, that's the question. That's the question. You know, depends. Like if I'm going back to Beloit or Madison, Wisconsin, like how many people that follow me do you think are in the Madison, Wisconsin area? You know what I'm saying?
At least 2.
I mean,
gotta just have something obvious. Like if there's
So you normally tag a location. When I used to do these, I used to tell my followers what location I was going to. I would do.
I would say the city and take a picture of a business. You know what I mean? So it's like,
sure,
leave breadcrumbs. So I would take either videos on my story of like street signs and couple like steps to how you might get to the spot.
hey, man, you make it a game.
yeah, that's like a Saw level fucking
Like a riddle.
Well, you got to like.
I
had to make it so. I mean, I was actually hiding these items.
Oh,
So
shit, I was
like,
thinking that.
you actually kind of got to go and get it, type of thing. It couldn't be somewhere where somebody else could get it because there's cannabis in here. We don't want a kid finding this shit or somebody random finding it. So you want really only your followers to find it, because that's who this is really only going to affect. The only people who are going to see this is your followers.
I'm gonna make these motherfuckers dig a hole. They're gonna have to find this shit.
You gotta put a
Treasure map.
Bring a shovel.
Yeah. You fucking
Damn.
dig a
Gotta
body.
climb a mountain and shit.
fucking Goonies. You're gonna have to go play.
Yeah,
a
get
bone
me
organ.
involved. Get me involved. I'm gonna make you guys do pull up.
Motherfucker just said Goonies.
You're gonna have to do a pull up to get to the spot, fucking, and then a dip. You got to work out to get to this shit.
98% of us are out.
They're gonna be like, "Damn, I can't even get up there."
Drop it off with a
That's
drone. and
that's
say,
the
"Fuck
fun
off."
of this, right?
Yeah, that is the one concern I've come across in the past. It's like, well, fuck, it's just in, if it's just in public or something, like what if a kid or something comes across it? And that's, you just got to think about where you're putting it. Obviously, don't show up at a fucking public park, put it on top of the fucking spiral slide.
Child
and call
lock
it a
container.
day, you know what I mean? That's also a great recommendation. Some child lock, the fucking THC symbols, whatever your state has. Like, there's a lot of different ways to do it. I don't know if I can't necessarily give like recommendations or advice on this, but just be fucking smart. Maybe put it where adults go.
Put it
Maybe
in a black bag.
up high on a shelf at a Home Depot or some shit. Like, I don't know, like not at the fucking cereal aisle at Kroger.
So the McDonald's play place is out.
Do they have those anymore? And
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
Up high at Home Depot.
Yeah, make the fucking worker go get down that like extra air conditioner up there, and it's like, oh, congratulations, you won the Pedro Stash and Dash. Here's 2 ounces of rosin.
But you always want somebody to be able to find it who's your follower that can repost it, so that they know that,
or at least
know that
DM
they
you and
got
let
it.
you know. Yeah,
Yeah.
seriously, please just let us know.
Because you don't want a random getting it, because then you won't never know who got it. And
That's
No, I'm,
what
I'm
I've
making
had
that
that
shit a
happen
geocache
before,
now.
so-
Fuck, y'all scared me.
I've had it happen before where like someone didn't post the Stash and Dash, so I started like sticking around a little bit and watching the spot, and then you would see like a bunch of cars pulling up. I probably should get my Stash and Dashes rolling again. That used to be fun. I used to go to the beach and do it, different parks, and hide them like way into like the bushes and shit. You gotta make it fun.
They did it for a long
Easter
time
egg
in
hunts right
downtown
around the
Detroit. It was like Free Art Friday. They made little squares of art, and then they do the Stash and Dash and hide them. And it was a cool scavenger hunt. They did it all summer. Geocaches are fun too.
I was gonna say that's a perfect way to think about it.
I was really surprised when I moved up here and installed geocache, and there's like 50 around here. Like, are you kidding me?
Oh, wow.
I'm in the middle of fucking nowhere, and they're here.
Yeah, but all those geocachers, they'll find a way.
You
Yep.
got a strain list that you're dropping for the hash bash, or is that a secret?
Garlic punch, raspberry parfait, clementine, lime skunk,
Oh
squirt,
shit!
lemon lime, and more combos to come. We have. Oh, hold on. Wait a minute.
Lemon
that sounds
lime.
like the
Did
full
you say
menu.
lemon lime?
Lemon lime.
Clement lime. I was like lemon lime. I ain't never had.
I
no
wish
lemon.
you could smell this. It's so dark. It's not going to do it justice. This raspberry.
Yeah, they look like dogs.
I was gonna say, what the fuck was that?
Thank you. Thank you.
Look like some
Hold
chocolate
on
or
while I
something.
turn on my. It's not gonna work. There you go. You can see the perps now.
I saw your filter post.
That is the worst.
Thank you, Pedro. I don't have great lighting in here.
You need a
It's all
ring light.
green.
I
You
think
didn't
they're
know.
$12.99 on fucking Amazon right now.
do it justice.
Oh, I
in the
stole my
first time.
14-year-old's ring light years ago.
That would be gorgeous fucking flower if we could actually see it.
Well, you know what, Pedro, since you're being such a picky son of a bitch right now, I'm gonna pull up my Instagram and I'm gonna give you something else to look at.
Side note, as he turned his fucking face, is anybody noticing how much of a beard for girlies is fucking, or how much
It's not gonna load.
starting to turn into a Pedro beard?
Why with the gray?
Yeah, it's getting in
up
there, crawling in.
That's I don't know.
We got some flower over here.
Photo. No, it's the anthocyanins. It's the post.
Oh, I saw that.
Earlier.
That was where we were talking about the water soluble.
Mm-hmm. See if I can pull it up a different way. I'm not gonna log in on this.
Boy, that's an interesting conversation to get in with somebody like, man, if we could get Trichome tortoise on here or some surface area. Oh, god damn. Go there. What you got? You can't find it?
I can't. It's for some reason it's not actually displaying the photo when
So
I
what-
click that. Maybe someone else can pull up the most recent Instagram.
Whoa, I'm gonna let Budsy do it. What was the picture of the bottom of the bag?
So that is the coffee filter that sits at the bottom to basically hold back all the material from flushing.
Is that
down.
the filter?
That is the filter, yeah.
Okay.
Now, but you'll notice the holes when he pulls it up. You'll notice it looks like a polka dot pattern.
It looks spotty. Yeah.
Right. And so basically
micron?
underneath that, it's a fucking coffee filter, bro.
It's literally a coffee filter.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
Just a paper filter.
what's the brand?
So
This
you're
one
running
specifically-
your
hold on.
your
You know those glass drip coffee? The what is it called? It starts with like a C or a K or something like that.
The Mr.
It's
Coffee?
No. It's a drip coffee. You put the giant filters in
This
there.
is
They're
too
like,
much.
oh please, somebody.
Are you thinking
somebody
Keurig?
accept.
I know.
No.
I-
It's
That's for
Wait,
water, isn't it?
Wait. So are you? This
My
is
Mr. Coffee is the big one.
your
with the paper
your
filter.
solution flows through this filter,
yes.
and then you do what you do.
Yeah, what is it called? Well, look it up.
No, this is anthocyanins.
Yes. Glass. We're gonna find it. We're gonna find
Red
this thing.
said
I'm going deeper than.
Chemex.
I've only
These are
blown.
Chemex.
I've
Okay.
only blown
So
through a fucking glass tube with 11 fucking times filtered. That's my only experience in this.
This
I'm
in
telling-
particular is a Chemex coffee filter, and it's because I finally went through my most recent bag of coffee filters, which are probably just the Mr. Coffee ones, and I had some of these available. So these are actually rather thick, but yeah, I just use an unbleached coffee filter. But the thing is, this doesn't just stay on its own like this. The reason that it's like a polka dot pattern of anthocyanins is because underneath this sits a stainless steel dish that has holes in it. That's why you see these patterns. That's where the anthocyanins are getting concentrated and going through and getting caught at a super low temperature, something like -40 to -70 degrees Fahrenheit, in this paper filter. Now, if you go to the other picture for me, Budsy, this is the result of anthocyanins getting concentrated on my glove after removing that coffee filter and the material behind it. So you can see just how much of the anthocyanins exist in this raspberry parfait. And that's why I was trying to show you it, is it's so purple, it's so dark. I don't grow many plants like this that leave this much of this pigment behind. I've processed plenty for other growers. In particular, I'll call it 321 Genetics. He's got some strains that dump these fucking anthocyanins too. But they're pigments. It's what makes perps perp. You know what I mean? And I thought it was very cool to see.
Did you scope this plant at all before harvest, like the trichomes?
No.
I would love to see if there was
like
the
purple. Usually it's purple. It's at least up the stems. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Because that's usually where it stops. It like goes up the stem and it doesn't really quite make it into the inner cells, which is where we see it translate directly into the rosin.
Right. And so I don't know if there's a genetic thing, if you can manipulate that with cold, if it's, harvesting at a certain time. Do you just push them later? Because we could certainly get a red when they degrade into like CBN and stuff, right? But that's purple that's a different
it's
kind
a
of
gorgeous
pigment,
purple.
There's been kind of a conversation on Instagram about it between surface area and I believe it's trichome tortoise. They're taking really close, extremely close pictures of the trichome heads and showing the anthocyanins actually in the oil that's inside the heads.
Yeah, you can definitely get it.
Yeah. So then there's a question as to whether or not they're contaminant, whether or not they're desired. And
well, it's a natural anti-inflammatory, right?
Yeah, but there's always going to be those questions.
There's for sure.
Inhale.
And that's what I was going to get to next is, but does that translate when you heat it and inhale the vapor?
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe it's more effective. Fuck, I don't know. But
right.
Ask, yeah.
And then the question becomes, well, did you only get them because you busted the heads open? Because if you're looking for hash, then they would still be, contained. The water soluble comes into question, as in, can it be rinsed out? Is it something that you can avoid?
That's the crazy part about it is like, that's why, all the time you get the wine water, right? You rinse it out. You're always getting the wine colored water. You're even when your strains don't look purple, you're seeing a lot because it is so water soluble.
Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you do have a purple strain, it's a whole different fucking world. But the stuff that's trapped inside the head itself is still maintained. But that's why, like, when you press, it's.
I was going to say until you express it when you press it into rosin.
Like I've only had one that actually produced purple rosin out of all the ones I've grown that have turned purple. Only one gave me a good hint of purple rosin.
Sure.
So
did you scope that one beforehand?
Yes. Yeah, I have that.
And it was a purple heads kind of thing.
Yeah, that was the Jawa juice.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was bred as Granddaddy Purple with something else. I don't remember. But yeah, that one was the one that was grape juice when it was flower, but the grape flavor didn't translate to the rosin.
All right.
A whole different flavor once it came into the rosin because I'd lost something at some point during the wash.
The water took it,
or the freeze dryer took it, or one of the steps. It wouldn't have been the water because it's still sealed at that point. It would have to be freeze dryer rupture. No, it would.
It
would probably have to be during the press.
I missed it. What was it?
He said, "Do men with beard make the best hash?"
I think it might just be a coincidence, but we have had quite a few great hash makers on the show that also had beards. So I don't know. I'll tell you what, there's some ladies out there that make great hash too, and you know what? I don't think they're rocking the beard, so I don't know. Maybe not all of us have beards.
I have to trim mine down because mine's way too white these days. Like Pedro was talking about a little bit. I'm like,
mine started with 2 stripes, and
yeah, it did.
I'm still the oldest one here, so.
Well, we ain't getting any younger.
I know.
I wonder who's younger between these two down here. I think it might. Professor
Joe.
How old are you, Chuck?
I'm 37.
Oh, we're the same age.
All right.
Oh shit.
Oh.
All right.
Same age, Coach. When's your birthday?
Just passed actually, March.
Okay.
He
Yeah, I'm a
got
little
you.
bit. I'm a little bit older then. Mine was in November.
Damn, and for growth, how old are you again?
About the same age.
So then it comes down to Budsy and I. Budsy,
About
how
the
long
same
how
age.
long you been growing?
I just turned 50
About the
this
same
month.
age.
I just turned 26. Just turned 46 on last Sunday.
Yep, mine was the 15th.
But how long you been growing?
Growing?
Long time.
Yeah.
When did you
Over
start?
30.
Longer than
All right.
fucking some of us have been around.
Mine was
Over
like
30.
90. Mine was 98.
Well, my first plants were like 92, 93.
Nice.
But my first HPS 1000 watt was 95.
All right.
So,
First hash.
well,
I mean, of any
like
kind, obviously.
smoking it?
Like, well, yeah.
Or
Any
back then,
consumable.
yeah. I mean, I was in Texas. We used to get some crazy shit across the border in Texas.
Well, no. You producing yourself. When is the first time
no.
you processed hash?
I washed hash a long time ago, but we could never figure out drying. I can't tell you when it was. It would have been reading about it in a magazine, ordering the bubble bags, and then someone saying, "Hey, this is going to be a great idea," and then all of us going, "This was stupid" at the end because we didn't know what we were doing.
My buddy was a fucking nerd, and shout out Greg. I'll have to show him this fucking clip. He was a nerd, and he showed me videos of Frenchie, and found the God damn it, the bags, the original bags that I bought from Marcus, and I did that in '99.
Yeah,
we've talked about it before, but just throwing your entire harvest.
Yeah, mine was probably
ice water.
Mine had to have been after 2000, but not too long after 2000. I mean, it was a High Times ad in the back of High Times magazine to order the bags. You know,
it's a different time.
Yeah.
We talk about internet and we talk about watching videos and what. Man, this is back.
Yeah, like I had no, and we didn't take photos. You know, we weren't posting any of this shit. I still don't have photos. Like. Just
no, I don't think I do.
Every now and then I'll come across a notebook that has some, shit written in it, and I can tell that's where I was measuring pH, something, but it's about the extent. And then a lot of Polaroids. I don't know where my Polaroids. I do have some good plant pictures, good old instant cameras, man.
I was just remembering the other day when we used to have to go develop our pictures at Walgreens.
Oh, and then 24-hour photo was or 1 hour photo, and you're like, oh, that's the shit, man.
I think we went to Kmart or something. There was somewhere that
doesn't exist. Motherfucker. God, I wish I had some fucking pictures. I would imagine I had taken some at the time, but I don't have them now. Of the first fucking grows I did. Those are so long. The stories, oh my God.
Oh, looking back and realizing how little I knew back then, it's a miracle I got anything to fucking grow. Like, it's crazy to think about. But it just, the plant wants to grow. You gotta fuck up to really.
It would just be
all
cool.
Right, fuck it. You guys want to see it? Let's do it.
Show us the strains.
November 2014, right here. This is one of my first grows in my 2x4 by 5 tent.
Inside 5x5 HPS.
Pineapple Express. Woo-wee.
Get it?
Nice.
Look at the
First grow, huh?
One of the first. This is May 2014. So this is go away. This is when I started my YouTube channel, I believe.
He was like, I
was looking
at that coloration. I was trying to remember what it was called.
Look at that low humidity in that tent, guys. Oof.
That transpiration.
That was Apple Jacks or something like that, I think, if I recall correctly. Apple
I
Jacks.
better not start opening folders over here. It might be. Yeah, well.
Yeah. Let's not go any further. God knows what we'll find. But yeah, I wanted to share those last year when they came up, and I totally forgot to because it would have been a decade. You know what I mean? But yeah, there you go. 2014. Wait, this way.
2014, baby.
Nice. Very nice.
So what else had, like you said, Hash Bash next weekend?
Yeah, Hash Bash is coming up Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Make sure you show up. There's all sorts of flavors, everything you could possibly imagine. I mean, just literally everything you could possibly
So what can,
imagine. Not just for me.
if someone was on the fence, like they're like, yeah, maybe I'll go there with a couple buddies. How does it work?
If-
Like, do I pay? Do I gotta parking?
You just show up. You can get tickets at the door. Honestly, they usually give away free tickets and stuff. If you follow Hash Bash Cup on Instagram, he'll show up and do a live and just give you a random code for the website, and the code will be for free tickets and stuff. So there's a lot of ways to get in for free or discounted or whatever. But yeah, you can literally just show up at the door. Parking's kind of a mess. So if you got like if you're coming from out of town or you got a hotel or something in the area, like just Uber
Park
your
across
way
the
over.
street.
Yeah, you can do that too. There's plenty of areas to park, but I don't know. I'm just inside most of the time, so I know it gets crazy out there. But get inside and then just explore, man. It's a hotel. Like literally every little nook and cranny of the hotel is stuff with something going on, whether it's vending or games or parties or sessions or whatever. That's just the Hash Bash Cup, though. I mean, there's so much going on all weekend, like I was mentioning. So definitely make sure you show up on the Diag of U of M at noon on Saturday. After that is the Monroe Street Fair. Definitely go check that out. But if you're around on Friday or Saturday, yeah, I guess after all that, I was going to say before, but it's really after all that. Definitely swing by the Cup at the hotel, and that's really where the party is, I think.
It's a blast. Gonna get high
Yeah.
as fuck.
How could Professor Dab, for someone that's never been, how would you describe the Hash Bash Cup and the event at the hotel? Because like I've posted videos and stuff in the past where you I'm walking around with my phone in front of my face and you can't see 12 feet in front of you because it's like just so smoked out. You know what I mean? That's my favorite kind of description or like visual of it. But like, how else? I mean, there's so much else that goes on. How else would you describe the whole fucking series of events?
It's like cannabis Disneyland. Basically, you go and it's like a flea market. Basically, you are exploring the world of cannabis in a way most people don't get an opportunity to. It's a very original kind of setting. We don't like have events like this anymore. They basically don't. None of them are as successful as the Hash Bash anymore. Basically,
Pandy killed it.
It's just been horrible lately. Like, most of the events now apparently are money grabs, and I'm not speaking about all of them, but some of them are. The organizers are just looking to make money off of the vendors, and that's killed the vibe for why people are passionate about bringing their products out. But when you go to the Hash Bash Cup, you kind of just get that old feeling of like everybody's here for the right reason. We're all trying to not just make money, but like connect people to a plant that's going to help them better their life. You know what I'm saying? And if you're looking at it that way, if you're just a regular cannabis consumer and you're going there, you're going to get high as fuck. Right? So you can look forward to getting super high, getting really cool goodies, seeing things you may not have ever seen, products you may not have ever been exposed to, dosing you've never been exposed to,
flavors you've never fucking realized.
Yep. And and like you'll find that it's a great shopping experience because there's different quality and pricing and my
Something for
thing,
everybody.
my big advice, if I were to tell motherfuckers, it's hard to do this, but walk through the whole place without spending $1 and then go spend that $1. But however, the kicker to that is by the time you get back to that table, that shit might be gone. So
Yep.
there's
Big facts, dude. You know what? And but why? Oh God, I was trying to explain this to Chuck earlier, and that is the best way of describing it. Is like what you just said right there. But a lot of it is doing this, the fucking shuffle. You know what I mean? The fucking side by side shuffle, ass to ass, like just trying to look. Because yeah, there's so much going on. There's so much, and you really do have to go see it all. You gotta go see it all because there is such a variety. Whether it's price points, quality differences, a vast variety of just ways to think about consuming the plant, different accessories and, items like carb caps or fucking bangers and things we talked about, and devices. Like it's just everything. It is. I'm so glad I asked you that question, Professor, because the Disneyland of cannabis, dude, you hit the nail on the head. That is 100% what it is. And that's kind of like, it is the only Disneyland we have left, I feel like, at least here in the Midwest. You know what I mean?
Yeah. None's done that well anymore. To have all those people in one space with all of the different products. And there's mushrooms there too. I don't know if I'm supposed to tell everybody that, but there be mushrooms in that bitch.
It's decriminalized in the city,
So
that's one of the
Right.
beauties of Michigan.
Arbor.
We got several cities that have decriminalized it, and that was a big surprise for me when I turned around one of the first times I was there, looked at a table and, oh, that's not a turkey bag full of cannabis. Yeah, you're like,
Nope.
oh my God.
It's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a good time. So yeah, come expose yourself to a place maybe you've never been before and vibes you've never had and brands
flavors.
you've
Chuck,
never met.
tell me about your flavors, bro, because we talked a little bit about the peach pudding, and you got to tell me about like the lineage, because you're the fucking guy that can actually talk like breeding and lineage and stuff like that, and the actual strains that cross to make these. I suck at this, dude. I don't know what it is, but
I
I'm
just
so
use
bad at it.
fucking Seed Finder a lot, honestly, and whether I
That's a good one.
I look up so many strains all the time. The peach pudding is Mackinac Peaches and Last Supper. I believe Mackinac Peaches was bred here in Michigan by the Wave Genetics, if I believe correctly. And then Last Supper, what did I tell you? It's Gouda Berry and oh shoot, I don't remember right now.
I just told you I suck at this, dude.
Yeah,
But who bred it? Is that a Soulfire?
That is a Soulfire cross. It's one of his. It's like an early release before he actually like releases more of the line.
Alpha kind of version.
So it's like a little like 3-pack that came in a box set. But I also have a lot of other peach seed flavors I want to get popping into, and this isn't like Big Jar said earlier. It's not like a sweet peach on this peach pudding. It's more of like a he said like almost like a fermented peach is how he put it. Because
it's the fucking fruit. You know what I mean? It's not the candy. It's the fucking fruit.
Yeah. So I'm just want to find that peach. So I got a lot of peach options to sort through. But also
Chuck is bringing the year of the peach in 2025.
Yeah, trying to. But I also just popped a lot of blueberry seeds also because Country Roots, the Sun Grown competition, their category this year is blueberries. So I got some blueberry muffins from Humboldt Seed Company. And then I also got Blueberry Bang Bang by Exotic Genetics. I popped those. So I got quite a bit of blueberry to sort through.
I'm a big blueberry fan.
I was going to say, did you see Professor's face light up when you said fucking blueberry muffin? I hope someone clips that shit.
I also just got some blueberry Afghani seeds from Rising Moon Medicinals here in Michigan. It's a breeder. So I'll probably get those going next month. I'm popping seeds every month, so I got so many to go through.
Well, okay, so that's peach pudding though is one of the flavors that you're gonna have. I think there's a few others. One of our favorites over here is cream royale because it is, in my opinion, it's actually like a real medicinal strain. You know what I mean? The effects on it are like I heard that too.
That one coats
You
your mouth for sure.
Yeah, it definitely does. It definitely does. And then you got Giggle Gas. Go ahead.
Giggle Gas and FX3 is the combo we got this time. This one's still kind of working its thing over here.
Got to batter up a little bit over there, or it's going to crystal up depending on how long you give it. But
yeah, that cream royale, that's real nice. That actually, I was just getting ready to do a dab of that because I know it's getting ready to be about that time for me to pass out soon. So that's my.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I got a puppy over here that's wanting to go outside over here, and I think it's about the time for me to get the hell out of here.
Copyright strikes.
If you guys want to keep chatting, go ahead.
Yeah, we'll have to link up soon, Pedro.
Yeah, send me a message as well for Dabs, ProfessorDabs.
Most def, man. I hope you come out, bro. I would love.
Yeah,
that would be amazing.
We'll talk about that too. Yeah, we'll talk about that.
When are you going to be in Wisconsin? Mid-May, you said?
May 13th through the 18th, something like that.
Okay.
What would be your biggest challenge in getting out here?
Timing with the daughter. Yeah, timing with the daughter. Single dad.
Okay.
So, and this.
Why, you babysitting, Professor?
I mean, not at a hotel full of weed. How old is this child?
All right, guys. I'm dipping. Have a good one.
Brother.
Love you guys.
Take care.
Get in touch.
All right, there's one more. What was the fucking fourth strain that I can't think of, Chuck?
We did cream royale. We did peach pudding. We did yikes. Yikes is the one.
Oh, yikes! That's the one.
FX something.
We did FX3 and Giggle Grass was the combo we did this time. That's the only combo.
But yikes, dude! That thing fucking dumped. Tell me what is yikes?
Yikes it's a Falcon 9 cross.
Lemon cherry gelato.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
Okay.
It's definitely I don't know. It's fucking great smelling, I'll tell you that.
It was good. I'm not even really a gelato fan, so I didn't even know that.
But
LCG's pretty good to cross with.
Oh,
Here,
yeah,
you see a lot of people crossing with LCG. Just it's a good base for bringing other things in.
Right. Yeah, that was my pop last year because Sun Grown Events category last year was cherry, so I grew a couple cherry crosses, and that was
nice.
The one that stuck around. So, but I got a lot of things in the works. I got a tent that's got some honey tree coming down. That's like a peach tree and a honeyberry cross. For girl who was over here.
That was the one. Yeah, dude, that was the one in the center, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Guys, it was the first. I'm like, give me a glove. We're gonna do some fucking pinches. You know what I mean? Some little squeeze testing, get some fucking terps on my nose, and. God, I wish we could share that maybe I can share the reel you sent me earlier too, because that made me laugh so hard. But I'm pinching, just go right in and pinch that first one in the center. It's like if I was gonna if this is a plant I could choose right now out of all these plants, it'd be this one right here. Maybe it was because it was in the center of the tent. Maybe it was because it just was big and beefy and colorful and stood out. It was frosty and everything. But I pinched that thing and it was just instant tangy, dude. I was just like, this is just fucking tangy terps. And I know we're like, it's only like week 6 or whatever. He's got some time to go, but it was fucking phenomenal smelling. He's got a handful of strains in that tent. I'm sure he'll be happy to share the different crosses or whatever. But that one stood out immediately.
You got any edibles you're doing for the show?
You know I'm gonna do some more turp cookies.
Means I gotta find a gym in the morning.
That was us at the session, checking all the drawers.
That's hilarious.
That's great.
I'm gonna send you a video here for Griller, see if can maybe show off the tent a little bit.
What you doing on the table? You gonna have a dab rig on there this time? Or no rig?
You know, I'd love to. It's the electrical there is kind of it's a weird thing, but
They gotta put you in the
for
same
sure,
spot.
we don't really get to choose the spots. It's kind of assigned or whatever. So I've been in a different one every time. But we will for sure have a dab rig in the room, like we did last time. Kind of doing like private sesh / break room up there. So yeah, there will certainly be a dab rig going. But if you want access, you know, you might have to ask, kind of thing.
I'll bring some shit.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see some carb caps, some dab tools, whatever you got, man. That was helpful last year too. Some the Q-tips, all the fucking what do they call them, the mops or whatever. Like
I got
that
you.
was all very helpful.
Little glob mops.
Yeah, the glob mops. Yeah. He had fucking 17 different styles for us too. And round tips, pointy tips, fucking flat tips, like you name it, he had it. It was great. That was very helpful. But yeah, the challenge, I mean, outside of the electricity, it's like there's such limited space as it is. And on top of that, the counters that I use, like they are not super solid and they sit
A little
higher.
wobbly.
Well, yeah,
Smaller.
and like we got a bunch of glass on top and stuff, right? Not like glass like bongs or anything like that or pieces, you know. It's just glass jars or whatever, but things that can break, right? And it's like we've been talking about it. It's shoulder to shoulder in there. You're doing this kind of going down the fucking buffet, right? And it's a matter of like not leaning on and knocking over the table, you know. So we don't want to have anything on there that's gonna get busted. We've been there before. So I'm gonna reserve it for, you know, the people that want to take a moment and go do a dab.
Flying coil at that temperature is probably not a good idea either if someone does send it.
I think it also depends on the spot they put you in too, right? Because like
for sure,
if you're too much in like the middle, then it really isn't.
You're gonna be taping down everything, and
but if you're kind of off to the side, sort of, sometimes there's a little bit of wiggle room there, but if
be on a dead end.
It's also like, I guess you're right, like the traffic in there, like, and the priority of the night, really too. You have to kind of like put the priority on the business and just be available for the knowledge, the education, the sales versus the tasting of the product in the moment. I think the name speaks for itself enough. If you don't know about it, then the nose should tell you. If your nose doesn't tell you, then maybe you don't know enough about cannabis yet.
Yeah, you got to go talk to 2K and Sam, I guess. You know what I'm saying? But the nose knows for sure. I you know, in times past, there was enough room and space, and it was at a different kind of setup that we could do something like that. This is just, it's a very high risk kind of situation in terms of having a fucking 600-degree glass rig sitting out like that. You know what I mean? So it's just better that I think we kind of reserve it for a different area. But there's plenty of spaces and plenty of rigs and torches and glass and dabs and everything you could possibly think of all over the place. Like there are sessions going on everywhere. They're inside behind closed doors. They're at open rooms. They're at tables in the lobby. They're on the staircases and next to the pool. Like you will find a place or a person or a tool to dab with. You know what I'm saying? It just becomes a little difficult there. All right, let's do this. What do we got here, Chuck?
That's the the shit I just told you. What were we just talking
The
about?
honey, dew, moon, something.
Yeah, the honey tree. Sorry, I just took
Honey
a dab and I had a brain fart.
Got him.
So yeah, that first
Yeah,
one.
that
that's
one right there in the
tree
center.
there.
Yeah, that drew me right to it, man. Out of everything in the 10, there's a couple that look similar, but this one I'm like, oh, that's for me right there, guys. You know, like pinch that lower nug, and I'm like, holy tangy. But you know, you never know. If say this is week 6, you know, and we're harvesting at week 8, you don't know that those are going to translate across the last 2 weeks.
Where I'm at right now is about week 6.
All of those are one strain, right?
No, I got to the left there. Those 3 are Howling Diablo, which is Ghost OG and Fire 18, I believe, or Agent Orange. Fire 18.
So, I don't know why I used to think this myth. Maybe you can clear this up for me. At what point is it not okay to have 2 different plants next to each other because they'll create like cross pollinate or whatever?
I mean, I'm not growing males and females. I'm just growing females mainly, so I ain't gotta worry about that.
If you're just growing for flower, like there's female plants and male plants. Male plants are the ones that produce the pollen. Female plants are the ones that produce these flowers and the fruit that we smoke, right? If you have a male in there, that's one set of genetics, and you could have 1 or maybe 50 different females in there. And that's just like one male spreading his genetics across up to 50 females, right? And so you're going to get a large variation across in there. Now, if you just have all females in there, well, guess what? They can't reproduce. So you're not getting, you know, any genetics unless you stress them or push them to the point where they hermaphrodize, and then they can do that. But this is a very variable plant in which, like, if you just have a bunch of different strains next to each other in the same growing room and they're all flowering females, there's no effect. Now, I shouldn't say no effect because, you know, you start getting into some real plant sciencey type stuff, and like they actually do communicate with each other. But in the grand scheme of things, it's like it's totally fine to grow a bunch of females next to each other if they're different strains. It's when you start introducing males that it becomes potential issues with keeping track, really is what it is.
Got it.
Because think about it, you're not just, if you had one male in this tent that he's got, right, you know, that we just watched, if we have one male in there and we've got 6 females, it's not just producing 6 offspring like, you know, a 1 male and 6 female humans would. It is producing like 6,000 offspring, because every one of those little pistils could be a potential seed site, and every one of those seeds could be a potential different phenotype from each other. And because every little pollen that gets in there is potentially bringing a different genetic code to it, right? So it's like you're really, by having 1 male and 6 females in there, creating up to like 6,000. We'll just random ass number. It could be a much higher, much lower, but we'll just call it 6,000 different variations of those 6 plants. It's like it can get real crazy real quick.
yeah, for sure.
Genetics and breeding is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's something I'd like to dip into in the future. I just ain't got the room for that, and worrying about cross-pollinating and all that.
Dusting everything.
Yeah.
I know. I watched like Vader build out a breeding room, and you're like, holy shit, the amount of work he puts into making it sealed, and then putting, you know, the rope so he can shake the males and dust everybody with the pollen without opening it, and
raise them out on their own pot so they die off on their own, and it's crazy.
Yeah, like he stops watering them by lifting them and then uses it to pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's certain engineering there too, right? But it's the biggest thing is like having them. It's really hard to breed effectively and also grow flower, you know, effectively without having a bunch of seeds in it, because these are microscopic. I mean, like singular micron size specks of pollen that can hide just about anywhere, like even in the crevices of your plywood wall. You know what I'm saying? And all it takes is one day of those things to get blown out, you know. And as long as they're still viable, well, guess what? You might have a potential seed. Like it's crazy. A lot of ways to mitigate it, but
Yeah.
what do you think is the best way to mitigate pollen in your grow room? Like air exchange, water.
Mitigate it from getting in there, or mitigate it from being in there and getting out, or both.
That's a good point. Good point.
Like,
yeah, obviously,
like there's some precautions that are pretty simple that people should be doing that a lot don't. Like I use sticky mats. Just walk over a sticky mat or change your shoes. You know,
mhm.
very basic stuff.
Some
If you're
garden Crocs.
outside, yeah, exactly. Garden Crocs. Get something that's your garden shoes. And you know, you don't have to be completely fucking sterile, but obviously if you're working in the garden, wash your freaking hands. You know, don't be stupid about it. Don't wear the clothes outside and go weed your garden and come inside to you're just gonna bring bad shit in.
Hugging your chickens,
Yeah.
hugging your plants. Like, no, it's not ideal.
Right. Yeah, if I'm gonna check my garden, it's gonna be the first thing, and then I'll go do outside chores. Gotta do things.
or
in the
otherwise
right
you're doing full shower and change
exactly. Change of clothes and yeah, because you don't want to be dragging shit around. You don't want to be bringing in pathogens or bugs or shit. You got to fight.
Well, but pollen, assuming you're trying to fight that, I mean, is it like super crazy HEPA filters? Is it what do we do if we're suspecting pollen in our garden? Maybe I got a neighbor that's growing males outside out back.
Yeah,
Right? He just doesn't know what he's doing, you know.
I went pretty extreme because of where I live. I'm surrounded by a food forest and pollen, and I mean that's bugs, everything. So I have dual HEPA filters with an S channel through my wall for my air intake into my flower room. And then I exhaust out from the top, and the air comes in from my lung room at the top, goes down through the wall, and then into the bottom of my flower room. So I pull air up through my plants and out the top. Take humidity, take crap with it. And then the HEPA filters stop everything. And they're changeable. And you have to change them often. It's the other thing. You can't just put this shit in. You got to actually swap them out.
Wait, what? I mean, it's not filters aren't a one
and done
lifetime buy kind of thing. No?
You know, people use carbon filters. I don't do any carbon filtering because I don't care about smell. I want to move more air. But if you care about smell, carbon filter, and even AC Infinity has like the pollen sock type of stuff. Everything can help. Just filter your air, whatever you do. If it's a tent, hook your intake. Don't just open the bottom of it. Put a hose to it, run an S channel, and put a sock on the end. Filter it before it just goes in. Don't let light leak in. Lay it in an S so you don't let light in. It's little things you can do. You're not going to stop it all. Pollen, if it wants to get in, is going to fucking get in. That stuff's bitch, man. It's
some pests are the same way. I swear, man. It's like fungus gnats are one. It's like you just all you got to do is have some good tasting soil. They're going to find their way.
That's why I love hydro, man. Just a mosquito dunk every now and then in the reservoir. I never have to fucking worry about fungus gnats.
Those even help in. Even like the little specks. Yeah. Those things are pretty helpful.
They work great outside too. Build yourself a mosquito trap to let them all lay their eggs and pack that shit full of, what is it, BTI? Something?
I think so, yeah.
Oh
shit, look at those. I haven't had those in a minute.
I bet you ain't got none of those.
It's been a while. I've consumed many pounds of those over the years. That's actually probably my most eaten edible right there.
What are they?
They're Muntree 420 almonds, roasted almonds.
Oh, nice.
Oh, they're so good, bro. And they're sneaky. They're fucking sneaky. Because it's like, you probably should have like 2, 3, 4, 5 of them, something like that. There you go, it's 4.
One of those that tastes
but all of a sudden you're 25 in and you're like, I fucked up.
I'm dead.
They could never make like medicated Pringles because it would just kill
bro.
people.
Once you pop, you can't stop.
They'd be like, no, you should eat 5.
I'm already past
Like,
4. I'm on 7 right now. I better
See you
stop.
tomorrow.
I always got a kid. I can't help it.
Yeah. Chuck, where are you going tomorrow? What's the smoke out thing?
Shoreline Smokeout out in Muskegon. It's hosted by Country Roots. That's where Red Setter is going to be venting at tomorrow. I'm going to be riding out with Big Jar. We're going to just kind of roll through, check it out. You know, see a couple people. You got to know a few people up there vending. It's usually got, you know, pretty good hangout up there. Know a lot of people up there. Country Roots usually does a pretty good job at setting up events. So, you know, be nice just to get out.
West Side ones.
Yeah. That's where all the events are. You know, we were talking about it the other day. Nobody don't do events over on the east side of the state. So, just go out, do that for a little while, and hang out. I have a couple of little pucks with me, you know, dabbing out.
Find that peach pudding or that cream royale. Woo-wee.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, thankfully for me, it's about the same drive whether I head east or west. I just have to change which highway I.
As an I-75, is it 127? Is it 131? Like
It was funny. I looked at for Pele's event, and I'm like, oh, it's like exactly the same distance as it is to my office. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
It's just the exact opposite way.
Yep. Yeah, and those two places are way about a third of the distance that you have to travel to get to either one of them, you know, between the two.
Yep. Because I was thinking about doing that. I was thinking, well, I'll just go to the office, stay there, and then I can head to the event. But it's like, fuck, that's a 3-hour drive.
Your drive is 3 hours to the event?
Oh,
No.
mine's 5.5, 6.
Oh, wow. A little
Say
bit longer.
mine's about 3 hours for that event.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, about
I'm-
3.5, 4 hours.
Straight north all the way till you hit water.
Why don't we get a fucking Airbnb or something for the event?
For Pele?
Yeah.
Yeah, we could do that. It's a good point.
Let's get a
I got to
fucking
go the day
regular
before
Airbnb
anyway.
session up. Well, let's talk about it after,
Yeah.
you know, in the days to come here. But hey, Chuck these dogs, Professor Dab, I really appreciate you guys joining us tonight. I'm really looking forward to the Hash Bash Cup coming up. I appreciate you guys offering your help and looking forward to spreading the cannabis love with everybody, man. It's a great fucking time, and I really look forward to seeing everybody in chat there. If you can make it, hopefully you can. Otherwise, we'll see you next week. You guys got anything to shout? Or well, actually, I don't know. Next week might be a little iffy with the being the Hash Bash Cup and all. But hey, maybe we'll find some crazy fucking part of the event to stream at 11 p.m. at night or something.
Yeah.
Nice.
Or maybe I'll drag you guys into the gym early in the morning.
Oh snap!
Actually, you know, if you're buying my way into the gym, I'll go show you how to rack 605 on the squat rack. Let's go, baby.
Oh, let's go! I love it.
Yeah, right. It's been a long time. Maybe we'll do like 350.
350 right off the bat, eh?
No, 315. No, right off the bat. That's like we're okay. All right, relax. I'll start with the bar. All right, I'll start with the bar.
Just a regular workout. Nothing to blow out the back there. We got to stand all day.
You guys are gonna
We'll
see us
walk
later.
later.
Saturday.
We got to stand all day. He's going to wake up on fucking... Yeah, that's not going to work.
Falling down the stairs of the hotel, like, oh my god, where's the cart? Please give me the luggage cart.
Yep.
Appreciate y'all. Love y'all, and cheers.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers, everybody.
See you guys.